Hi everyone, welcome to Land and Sea. I'm Jane Adey. This week we explore something that Newfoundland and Labrador has a lot of, rock. For many in this province, our spectacular rock isn't just something to be looked at and photographed. For them, our jagged cliffs and banks of boulders are meant to be gripped and scaled. Their passion overrides their fear in the pursuit of the challenge of rock climbing. Is it any wonder Newfoundland and Labrador is sometimes lovingly referred to as the Rock? With its dramatic and sheer coastlines that plunge into the North Atlantic. This place on the Avalon Peninsula is called, unsurprisingly, Flat Rock. It draws nature lovers of all kinds. And one group with a particular appreciation for the strength and stability of these hard walls. For Daniel Alacock, there's nowhere he'd rather be than on the side of a cliff.
When I touch the rock, when I get my feet on the rock, everything goes away. Sometimes I feel like I'm in the clouds or in another world. I just lose all sense of anything, really. It's just me and the wall. It's beautiful.
A tree climber as a boy, when he found rock climbing, he locked on.
It was really like a love at first sight. I was like a little bit of a nerdy kid, and climbing was just perfect. I was like a little bit athletic. I had done sports as a kid, but not climbing. And I didn't really like the team sports. I'm much better when I'm like focused on something myself. And so climbing was just perfect. I kind of just started and then never ever stopped again.
A bit like Spider-Man, he can do whatever a spider can.
It is physically very hard. It's extremely challenging on the body, and to, I don't know, do something really hard and make it feel easy, it just feels amazing.
Like any sport, the moves take practice. And there's figuring out the gear, the ropes, the knots. But what gym can compete with this scenery? And Daniel insists the payoffs aren't just physical.
Climbing is just like one of the best ways you can learn to grow as a person. You're challenged in many ways mentally, and it spills over into other aspects of your life immediately. Of all like the experienced climbers I know, they all have this sort of confidence in them that, nothing's quite as scary as really like pushing yourself on rock outdoors, I guess. So it puts everything else in perspective in a way.
After graduating with a master's in engineering, Daniel wanted to push himself on rock outside the province. In 2016, he and two of his best climbing buddies, Nick Brown and David Bruneau, set out on a climbing quest.
We decided to fly to BC, buy a camper van, and live in the camper van for a year, climbing pretty much every day, with the climbing being our main goal. We traveled from BC through the States, down to Mexico, and then back up on the other side, and it was an extreme adventure. It changed my life.
They spent months in Yosemite National Park in California and set their sights on this granite monolith, El Capitan, a 900-meter climb to the top.
It took us a lot of preparation, and it took a lot of work, and it was a pretty cool thing. It took us 7 days, and we slept on the wall. I guess when you climb the first 1,000 feet or so, you're not used to the height yet. So you look down, you can just immediately be a little scared. But then when you get up in the 1,000, 2,000 feet, you're tall enough that you can't really see things very well. So it all kind of seems like the background of like a desktop or something.
Tell me about the top, when you got to the top. What was that like?
Oh, it was magical. Yeah, it was beautiful. I don't know, after 7 days, you're just exhausted.
Daniel and his friends were the first Newfoundland team to make it to the summit of El Capitan.
It was pretty cool. It was great that it all came together.
But the achievement of reaching the top isn't what stands out for Daniel.
When I think back on it, I think about moments with Nick or Dave, moments with my friends, maybe stressful moments, or maybe just beautiful moments we've had. Like, it's really those moments that I remember.
And Daniel says there was someone else with them on that journey. A friend who had lost her life climbing in Flat Rock the year before. Jessica McCurlian was 21 years old.
Whatever she was doing in life, all she wanted to do was climb. And the joy that she brought to climbing was just so contagious. And she had a short life, but climbing was a big part of it.
Jessica's death was a huge shock for the climbing community.
3 different really secure aspects of gear, they all failed at the same time. And it was just a crazy thing to happen.
Above the climbing cliff in Flat Rock, there's a bench dedicated to Jessica McCurlian. People leave rocks here under the bench in her memory. Daniel says the loss of the young climber was too painful and scary for many to continue with the sport.
Some people walked away from climbing and didn't look back, and others doubled down. And I was one of the ones that doubled down, and it was because of her attitude about climbing. Because life is short, and I wanted to do the things that I truly cared about. The 3 of us that we all went on the trip, we were all friends with Jessie. We all knew after she died that climbing was important. It felt more important because of her life.
Another summer's day, another dramatic sceneryscape along Newfoundland's coastline. This part of Logie Bay is known for the Ocean Sciences Center, where researchers study the ocean. But this group is focused on the land and studying the rock formation that sits at the edge of the sea.
You can do it. Take a little break. You got it.
This is called bouldering. No ropes and no harnesses for this kind of rock climbing. So having some guts certainly comes in handy. When Daniel Alacock isn't dangling off the faces of high cliffs, he's just as happy hauling himself up rocks much closer to the ground.
Bouldering is when you climb a short distance. It's usually around 10 or 15 feet.
Still, a fall from that height wouldn't tickle, so climbers lay out crash mats and spot each other while on the wall.
Originally, bouldering in the 60s was like practice for alpinists or mountaineers. When they encountered like sections of difficult rock, they wanted to like go around and practice so that they'd get stronger fingers or like practice complex movement. It's like short bursts of super high energy climbing. Come on.
This super high energy climbing was named an Olympic sport in 2020, and bouldering is drawing lots of interest.
I think climbers, in general, they're like a quirky, happy, outdoorsy group. You know, they're pretty, on average, they're like a little on the nerdy side, and they're always pretty friendly.
Determined, too. In this sport, climbers work on projects or boulder problems to get to the top. Completing a project or solving a problem with their hands and feet could take days, months, or even years.
You get beginners and you get the very experienced climbers, and they're both climbing different problems, but with the same intensity and the same, joy.
Joy is exactly what Tim McCurlian feels when he's clinging to a rock face, and that might be surprising. You see, it was Tim's older sister Jessica who died while rock climbing at Flat Rock in 2015.
At the time, I didn't really climb with her, but she is kind of the root in my connection to the sport. She's somebody that I was extremely close with. She encouraged me to go out climbing with her. Never ended up taking her up on that offer, but since her passing, I've tried to kind of connect with her through the sport. So that's kind of where it all comes from for me.
Tim says Jessica's spirit is very much alive in the rock climbing community, and especially in Flat Rock.
I feel like a deep connection, and it's almost like she's there with me. It's really hard to describe the connection that I have when I'm outdoors, anywhere in particular, but particularly rock climbing, especially being able to see it in other people too. Having other people there with me and kind of see little glimpses of things that I remember, it's really wonderful, and I really cherish those moments.
At 21, Jessica McCurlian had her whole life ahead of her. And anyone who knew her knows climbing would have continued to be her passion.
She just wanted everyone to do it. She just wanted everyone to feel as stoked about it as she was.
Her brother Tim now helps organize these bouldering events. He knows his sister would be proud.
Being a part of this community that is so excited, absolutely loving to be outdoors, encouraging people, it really fit her so well. So she really kind of gained a lot of confidence, I would say, through that community. And like I have as well, she definitely built herself up a lot through rock climbing and really gained a lot of confidence through the sport.
Emmy Penny says that's what rock climbing has given her. Emmy didn't know Jessica McCurlian, but she knows the same feelings she must have felt being with other climbers.
It's very supportive. I do have a running theory that because climbing friendships develop so quickly, it's because most climbers, they see you go through points of struggle and then points of success. So they see almost a full perspective of you and your character and how you react under stress, and then how you react when you do accomplish something and succeed. I definitely had some conversations that are a bit more deep dives than some other friendships I've had.
For Tim, that kind of testimonial is what his effort is now all about. Like his sister, he wants people to challenge themselves. He's helping shape a living legacy for someone he loved so much.
It's really important to me to be able to see that, and even if people don't know her, through me to be able to pass along that enthusiasm, passion, and encourage other people to enjoy and find their own way in the sport as well, right? I think she'd be elated. She would be so happy. To be able to climb with me, I think she would have loved that too. That would have been so fun. But to see this amount of people, see such a supportive community, she would have loved it.
Anyone Anyone who ventures up the side of a rock face has to have a lot of faith. And Daniel Alacock has that.
I really need to trust my feet, and then trust the rock.
And rock climbers put a lot of trust in their instincts too. When Daniel finished his engineering degree years ago, his instincts were telling him that there might be a different path for him to follow.
Bigger hold. Catch my breath back. I guess simply put, engineering wasn't really for me. The long hours sitting at a desk, not very much time with other people. I guess those are the two main factors that I couldn't see myself in the engineering world. And at the same time, I was getting pretty interested in small business. I felt like I learned a lot from climbing, and I wanted others to feel the same. Basically, I wanted to bring climbing to more people.
So back in 2023, Daniel took a leap.
So you want to start relaxed in your shoulders, but kind of up a little bit. Does that make sense?
He went into partnership with some other passionate climbers, and together they opened the Cove. Quite literally, a place for people to hang out.
Creating the gym and building the community here. Yeah. That was the solution to basically everything. My lifestyle, my passion to fuel it, and to watch other people grow in the same way. Run here, do left, right, left, and just...
Learning the ropes as a small business owner comes with all kinds of hurdles. Here's where Daniel finds his greatest rewards.
There you go. Nice, Pippa.
Teaching new climbers eager to follow his lead. Like any sport, mastering the skill takes time.
You might think climbing is all about the hands, but actually more than 50% is about the feet and knowing how to place the feet, at what angle, how hard you're pushing with your feet. You need to not just learn how to be in a position, but how to move your body through space into the other position in the most efficient way possible. It's very complex.
Complex, but intuitive. Daniel says anyone who's ever felt the thrill of climbing a tree seems to want that feeling again.
You have old people climbing, you have young people climbing, middle-aged people climbing. It's just an easy thing to pick up and learn the basics of.
One of Daniel's biggest accomplishments to date, getting his mom to join the gym. At 68, Anne-Marie Berry says she's pumped.
I'm totally hooked. I've got more strength in my shoulders, my arms, and probably my core, so I'm pretty proud of myself. There may be 5 of us with gray hair, but everybody says hello. We talk about how to climb. I get fist bumps for doing something that's a little bit harder than usual, and it's just a lot of fun.
So he's relaxing his
Harry
arms.
Mills has been competing in other parts of the country with Daniel as his coach. The sport has given him mental muscle.
Nice, Harry.
Yeah, I think I'm more optimistic since climbing. I have more of an open mindset too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You think you've got a can-do attitude?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Daniel helps a lot with that stuff.
Yeah, it's true.
Daniel sees a positive spirit building among the youth he coaches. A spirit that reminds him of a young friend lost far too soon. Watching new climbers find their footing would have thrilled Jessica McCurlian. As for Daniel, he's found fulfillment, encouraging others to reach for new heights.
Oh, it's a joy. Climbing is just an avenue for them to learn life skills. Yeah, it looked good. I really see over the long term is just watching someone not just become a good athlete, but become a good person. And just being part of that in a small way. If we take our leg,
He's glad he had the courage to push himself along this route.
back in, I feel extremely lucky. I know a lot of people who haven't found what they are passionate about in their life, or who cannot do it because maybe their job makes good money and they don't want to leave it. But I took big risks in my life, and it paid off. I just feel really grateful for, I guess it's a bit of luck and a bit of hard work. And yeah, very grateful.
It seems to be something climbers understand. When you find what makes you happy in life, reach for it, get a firm grip, and then hold on as tight as you can. If you put all your energy into it, you can get somewhere. There is joy in the effort, and there is satisfaction in accomplishment. Climbers know to embrace challenges, because in life, there are always going to be rocks to climb.
Okay.
Nice, babe.